I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Handcrafted in the revolution.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, you got it.
Come on up. Okay, what else? What do you got? You got one, you got two, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
The Koana and Aoki to just 1 point, so a much more acceptable outcome, and back to fight another day here in the second end.
Absolutely glad to have you. This is quarterfinal action here, and you can catch all the games from all the sheets right on our Curling Zone YouTube. So if you're looking for a game that we're not doing the commentary on, we are showing them all right now. Don't worry about it. You're not going to miss a thing. So we were talking about how this game's a little bit different than traditional curling. So why don't you explain the differences from fours to doubles for our viewers who may not have seen it before?
So we have teams of two. Obviously, each team only gets to throw 5 rocks. One partner will throw the first and last rocks for your team each end. The other throws the middle 3, 2, 3, 4 rocks. Each end starts with 2 rocks already in play. You see we're coming up on the center guard here. Team without hammer starts with the center guard. The team with the hammer starts with a rock touching the back of the forefoot on the center line. So that really drives action, and what does that even more so is their version of the free guard zone rule, which is much more restrictive. Teams cannot remove a rock until, well, right now, the 4th rock of the end. Everything must stay in play before then, or else it comes back to where it was. Even if a rock is in the house, you can't remove it. So you're going to see a lot more, especially early in ends, a lot more touch shots, a lot more maneuvering, and a lot more rocks in play than in the 4-player game.
The way I like to remember it is, it's kind of like a 5-rock rule on steroids. But as soon as you see 5 rocks, the 6th one can do something.
Absolutely, yeah. When you count those extra 2 rocks in play, it is really just a 5-rock rule. But as you said, with a bit more restriction on steroids.
Well, it's like a glorified version of the Moncton rule for those people who remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I do, but
no, a little before our time. But some of us know our curling history, and yeah. I bet if there are some Canadians in the crowd, they certainly remember that rule. Early version of the free guard zone. Yeah.
So now Tanida is going to have his next shot. What do you think he's looking to accomplish here?
I imagine he's going to use that center guard, come around to the top of the forefoot. He is already sitting 1. Often these ends, unless something goes very wrong, will be a battle for that top of the forefoot to take control of the scoring area. Now, in 4-player curling, of course, there's a big battle over, the team without hammer trying to keep that scoring area tight, and the team with hammer trying to open it up. Hard to open it up in mixed doubles. So a lot of these ends, except when we see a power play, which we'll surely talk about later in the game, you're gonna see that scoring area just be in the forefoot.
And this rock's going to come on down. It's going to get just touching the 8-foot, probably a little shorter than you like. It does leave room for them to chase the blue rock, especially because yellow is sitting 2 and 3 right now.
Yeah, so not making that shot suddenly makes this end a little bit dangerous, right? We've got second and third shot for the team with hammer, and you might see a play on that blue rock in the 4-foot. Even if it's not to remove it, at least to bump it back or freeze to it where yellow keeps its threats alive for the rest of the end to potentially get a big end here.
So here comes Tori Koana, team from Yamanasshi. Yamanasshi located on Honshu. As I mentioned earlier, these teams probably know each other, but the blue team is from Nagano, which is on Hokkaido, but the Hokkaido is the epicenter of curling in Japan. Now I'm working this one over to curl. Now tap it now. How far back? It does move back, and they sit the 2 at the moment.
Yeah, that actually might be in between the amounts they would have been happy to push it back. Because you get it back another 6 inches, you're sitting 3, which is nice. I think they might have been just a touch heavy, though. Move it up 6 inches and makes it just a little more difficult to get rid of your yellow on the top of the 4-foot. You have a lot more backing there. Honestly, with the angles, though, now that I look at the house, I don't know if it matters where you put the blue, because your yellow is always coming out to the left, and we'll see if they can. They're definitely throwing some weight here. See if they can double off those 2 yellows. I imagine that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, it looks like we have a slash attempt coming for Tanida.
Yeah, could be, depending on where you hit, maybe even a chance to at a couple different doubles or the triple. I didn't really look at the angle that well.
This is on the way. It's going to grab the 1, and it does stuff it just a little bit too steep on the angle there.
Yeah, a little thicker, and I think at worst you get the 2 on the side of the house, and maybe, I mean, you change the angle on hitting the 1 in the back 4, you never know. There's a chance for all 3, perhaps. I don't think that Koana and Aoki are going to worry about that rock in the back 8 now, even though it is second counter. I imagine they're coming in under those guards, getting in front of their rock on the back of the button. That rock on the back of the button, very bad for the team with the hammer, of course, just like in 4-player curling, because a freeze from Matsumura and Tanida would put the end just about to bed.
All right, here's Koana with her final in the second end. They got to go to get this there. Try and drag it on in. It's going to end up light. Just where does it finish?
Trying to get every inch out of it.
It does get up to be, well, I guess, 4th shot.
Yeah. I mean, relevant, because there's only 1 blue rock out counting it. If, if we have a miss here from Tanida, not that I expect that in any way, but then it would be relevant because you could remove that blue stone. And so getting it there was important, but yeah, they were definitely looking to get it a couple feet deeper.
All right, so here's Chiaki Matsumura.
I had it backwards.
With the final stone. Trying to hit and get the double. Gotta work it over. Can get over close enough. Come on, gotta go. And is just short of being shot, so it's 1 yellow at the moment. So I think a tap back is what you have for 2, Ed.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to put the little tap on the yellow there on your left side of your screen or the right side of the overhead view, and run it into that blue. At least that last shot from Matsuzaga did make it a much more difficult deuce and took away any chance at a bigger end.
So apparently that from Yamanasshi, there's a beautiful view of Fuji-san, which is nice, which is definitely awe-inspiring. And probably not blocked by a sign by the Lawson, which we've seen on Facebook a million times. All right, so here we go. Final stone of end number 2. Looking to play the tap. Got to raise it up to the button. Got to raise it to the button. And that is done, but you push the other one back too far. It's going to be just 1 yellow. So it's a score of 1 for Koana and Aoki. We're tied up after 2. Here from Vernon, BC. We'll be right back.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
First game to be almost over.
Back here in the third end at the Mixed Doubles Super Series presented by Curling Stadium Vernon. Glad to have you with us today. We have a tied-up affair in the third end between Koana Aoki and Matsumura and Tanida. It is Matsumura Tanida with the hammer. They're throwing the blue stones here in end number 3.
So we saw Koana there make that freeze to the rock in the back 4, which you'll often see in mixed doubles. And when mixed doubles was a newer game, the hammer rock was placed right behind the tee line, and that freeze could almost finish off the end right away. So thankfully, there's a little more room to play now, even if you make that shot without hammer.
Now, that pre-play center guard, is that in any particular place for any particular reason?
Yeah, the organizers of a spiel will determine where they want to put that rock between 6 positions. A club that's set up for mixed doubles will usually have 3 hash marks on the center line, further away, middle, and closer to the house. And you could put the rock on either side of that hash line. They'll do that based on ice conditions. You want a spot where teams can pretty easily draw around that center guard and bury, but where it's not so high that it's very easy to hit a rock, especially not with much weight, coming around that center guard.
I believe we put pennies in the ice at our club for this one.
I think I've seen those before, yeah.
It's enough of the doubles players know where they're at, and it doesn't distract anybody playing fours.
Yeah, and I've had, at our club, I don't think we've ever set up for doubles in the full sense, but we have 1 hash mark out there just to give some, we don't run any spiels or any big events, but for our doubles league, at least they have a clear marking of where they can put the rock on either side every end. They don't have to guess.
We have a nice come around here from Koana.
Yeah, remember what I said about how you used to shut down the ends here with getting that rock right down on the pin. We're kind of looking at that now. Now there are some angles set up. These aren't dead stacked. So at some point we may see could see one of the teams make a play to jostle some of these rocks. It's also possible with such a stack and so much granite there that both teams might be content with the hammer taking 1 here. So I believe right now it's blue sitting 1. Yeah, right on the pin.
Now, not that we're in any danger of that right here, but I think it's worth mentioning that a blank end does not retain hammer in doubles.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because of the style of play, doubles would be rare anyway. But just to make sure, the rules of the game make it so that if the end is blank, the hammer flips. You'll see that on rare occasions, but it is rare.
And I know a team can choose their throwing order with one player throwing the first and fifth and the other throwing the middle three. But I understand you don't necessarily have to keep it that way.
No, you can change every end. You can change your throwing order throughout the game. Not in the middle of an end. That would be weird. But other than that, yeah, you're free to mix it up. And especially at the recreational level, you'll see some teams that swap every end just to give both teams, both players, I should say, a chance to throw the different kinds of rocks. Because while this is mostly a drawing game, and of course, look at that line of rocks right there on the center line. This is what people who I think maybe don't watch a lot of mixed doubles imagine every single mixed doubles end is like. And that's not quite true, but that is quite a lineup we got there.
So I guess looking at it now, it looks like they're considering making some sort of move on these.
Yeah, your blue rock on the pin probably won't be going anywhere. If you want to score more than one, you're gonna have to open this up. Go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
Yeah. Do you think they think they're going to kick the yellows a little bit out with the angle?
Maybe even if you just jostle things around and release some rocks, so that on a future shot you can actually remove them. If you take away some of the backing, it'll at least open up something of a scoring area or some opportunities to score.
So here's a stone from Tanida. Not coming with huge weight. I'd say this is probably just board weight. Working hard on the line. Got a shimmy past the guard. He got that, no problem. Now, we're going to rattle around. And we just kind of tick it. We don't really do much to shuffle the deck there, but it does set up a different angle there with that yellow exposed, lined up on the other yellow.
Yeah, and now you have rocks on the side of the sheet that could be used, side of the house, I should say, that could be used to, come in off of, which of course is what Koana and Aoki are looking at now, because that might be the only potential way to get at that blue rock on the button. Doesn't mean they will play that, but it's worth noting that that's there. Either team could potentially use it at different angles to get rid of an opposing stone.
Well, I know in doubles, I assume that you're ecstatic to force your opponent to one.
Yeah, it's the ones are not rare. It's not as though the scoring is out of control, but certainly. Whereas I think usually when I'm talking to people about the 4-player game, yeah, holding the one is sometimes a little overrated for the defensive team, but it's like, or for the non-hammer team, but it's pretty much like holding serve. It doesn't really change the the percentages of the game much. I think it is definitely an advantage for the team without hammer if you just give up one. Although you're also much more likely to steal in mixed doubles, so you may sometimes be disappointed that you didn't get your steal.
So they left that one high there. Probably guarding against using that yellow against them. So
yeah,
now they're talking about using that angles that you've said. So looking at seeing if they can't whack off that outside blue, hey?
Yeah, come off that outside blue. If you catch both that top yellow and maybe a piece of your blue on the button, drive it back into that just jostle that yellow on the back of the button. Maybe you can open up some room. And if that yellow on the top goes, that yellow on the back of the 4-foot starts to look real lonely. Especially if you can, as part of the shot, move your blue backer a little bit and just open up some room to potentially get that yellow off the 4-foot. But that's asking a lot, but we'll see if they can, how many rocks they can move here, really.
So, a key shot for Tanida here in the third end. Try to double off and gear on into the pile off his own. This looks a little thick. And it just nuzzles over. What did that do, Ed?
Well, not too much. As you said, the a little bit thick there. I think it's overlapping that other blue on the top of the forefoot just enough that it's... And the angles aren't right anyway. I don't think you're going to be able to use either one. Now, you know, Koana and Aoki are looking at if it's possible to use their yellow rock, drive it into their yellow on the top of the button, and maybe squeeze out the blue that's currently covering the pin.
That looks like trying to get the last bit of mustard out of the bottle.
Yep. If they had more access to that, this would be a very makeable shot if, you could see more of that yellow rock that they're targeting. The guard there on the left side of the center line in our view right now makes this a much tougher shot, especially with any weight.
So tricky shot here for Aoki. Koana on the brush. Just trying to catch his just a little bit. If it comes up a little bit, it's looking good. Comes up a little bit. Oh, and it just nestles it in. Does change the angles yet again, but didn't see too much there, boss.
No, good effort there. Like I said, tough shot because you couldn't see much of that yellow. I think we're going to see Blue be happy to take their one here because I do not see a way you're getting rid of both of those yellow rocks now and putting another rock to count. And I don't think that Matsumura and Tanida looked at very much even.
So final stone. Yeah, final stone of end number 3. Looks like we're just going to throw through and take our one.
You'll probably see a practice shot here. Probably throw a draw maybe to the outside of the rings, which I think is what we're seeing. When you get to those power play ends, it's a little tricky because everyone's throwing to the center of the ice most of the game. So, hey, having a practice shot where you're going to the corner, get used to the weight a little bit. Not a bad idea.
So they got to read that side of the sheet. We get to score one blue, and we'll be back after this.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Back here in the fourth end from Vernon, BC. Mixed Doubles Super Series presented by Curling Stadium Vernon. Ed, let's get an update on our other quarterfinal matches.
Yeah, a lot of good games on the ice right now, Dave. Our one remaining Canadian team in the field is the Cotter rink. They're down 3-0 after 2 ends to the Gil Hewitt team out of Brisbane, Australia. In other quarterfinal action, we've got the Norwegian team of Skaslin and Nortragaten. They're up 3-0 on Parrot and Rios out of Switzerland. And Abbas and Harsh out of Fusen, Germany, up 3-1 on Caldby and Lille, the team we talked about earlier, out of Estonia.
Excellent. And back here we have a nip and tuck affair. It's been the teams trading single points thus far.
Yeah, we saw a really well played and didn't leave much room for scoring, but just draw after draw, freeze after freeze made last end right along the center line.
So here we have a come around draw attempt. Just a little bit hot, but it does unlock the rear one, which can somewhat be helpful to use later.
Oh, absolutely. Removes the freeze on the blue rock and was just light enough to keep their rock around. Remember, as we said before, if that rock is removed, everything goes back to where it was.
And I think it's worth mentioning that it can be removed out the back and out of play as long as it can even be in that dead quadrant behind the house and still be considered okay.
Oh yeah, just like in the 4-player game, as long as it's in play, as long as it's anywhere on the sheet still, you're good. If you remove it from play, even if it's your own rock, it comes back.
And when I try to explain the way our lines work to newer curlers, I like to say that the horizontal lines are like soccer and the vertical lines are like American football. You touch a vertical line, it's out. But the whole stone needs to be across the horizontal line.
Yeah.
So here's Koana. She's throwing the middle stones for this squad.
Yeah, the majority of the teams, you'll see the female player throwing the 1st and 5th rocks, the male player throwing 2, 3, 4. But in no way is that universal. There is a lot of variety out there, for sure.
I think it all goes to the skill sets and sometimes who you think the better brusher is.
Absolutely. And I think teams maybe have a tendency to do that, thinking on average, more teams than not. When there are hits, when it turns into a game of, we have to make some run backs, we have to make some peels, we have to remove 2 or 3 rocks, that tends to happen on like the 3rd and 4th rocks at the end. So some teams may feel that their male player a little better at the big weight shots, maybe not as consistent with the touch shots as some of the women out there. So that makes it why you'll see more men playing 2, 3, 4. But yeah, either way works. And as we were saying before, you can even mix it up if you want. You won't see that much on tour, but you can change between ends if you want to change your lineup.
I've seen some of the higher level teams do it occasionally when they want to shift to a cleanup mode.
Yes.
But that's a lot of that scoreboard driven. Although, I would agree with you. I definitely has some we definitely have some female curlers at our club that throw a hit better than a lot of the gentlemen.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. At this level, all the men, all the women are going to be able to make hits with some pretty good weight. So it really does come down to, as you said, skill sets.
So you're saying they're all better than me?
Yeah, I'm saying they're all better than me too.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. That's why we're here. That's why we're here, and we're happy to watch them. So here's Tanida trying to nestle one in there. Right now, they've been able to maintain better angles despite not having hammer.
Yeah, they've had control of some of these ends with really nice placement of rocks. This looks like it may just over curl just a bit. I don't mean over curl in a bad way. I'm just saying get over the face there. Get a little bit to the low side of that yellow rock, which again, as you were saying about the angles, very nice. Takes away really any opportunity to use that yellow stone and push it back onto the button.
Right, because anytime it's going out the right as we're looking at the house right now.
Yeah.
So, Koana gonna throw the intern here. Aoki bringing it on down now, trying to work it over.
Just wants a piece here to
just a piece of it and nuzzles it, and that is good enough to put them as shot stone.
Yeah, it pushes that blue rock to the back of the forefoot where it's a lot less useful too.
Now,
not that it's that easy to get rid of it to open up the scoring area, but it's not getting any closer to the button, as we say.
That's very true. One of the first lessons I learned as a young curler is we had a very snarky woman from Delaware County, Pennsylvania, who who said, David, once they're beyond the tee line, they don't get any closer. They never do. Shout out to Nancy. GBDH. Yeah. Now here's Tanida looking to do the touch shot, trying to just wrap around the blue on the 8-foot and come on down and get themselves in prime position because shot rock is available.
Yeah, you could even, if this will come over, this looks a little big and outside, but trying to get the freeze here. It's coming back.
It's coming over now. Can it come far enough? Now it's taken the curl. Now you try to finish it, try to drag it all the way over. All the way over. Well, you didn't get shot. Once again, you got a pretty good angle.
Yeah, a lot of the weight came off that. I was surprised it looked, if anything, a little bit big to me as it was coming over the hog line, but ended up in a nice spot, especially when you consider they don't have a hammer. You don't need to score here. And you don't need to be counting right away. I mean, that, as you said, very, very easy. Effectively works like a freeze, right? You only have a couple inches between those two rocks.
Now, you see, this squad doesn't have anybody holding the broom, so how do you do that as a thrower to, be in the hack without an aiming point?
You got to find a target, whether it's something on the scoreboard, something in the house, something behind the house on the wall, something that works as a good stable target for you to use. And of course, a lot of it is just visualization and knowing where to throw too. But I do find it helps to have an actual visual target. Even if it's not perfect, if there's something on the wall and you can say it's 2 inches to the left or right of that, even that's better than just sort of blindly going after the target.
Now this one ends up as about a halfway guard, so I still see a little bit of that blue.
Yeah, maybe, and you also don't have to throw a ton of weight. I mean, if you can throw back house weight here, get to that blue, kick that yellow back to the even just get a piece of it out of the 4-foot. Blue could be sitting 2 or 3 without an obvious and easy shot for Koana and Aoki to score.
Yeah, it has been Matsumura and Tanida basically calling the shots here so far. Koana and Aoki, it's just been a game of nip and tuck, a little inch here, centimeter there. That's nature, this game, which makes it so fun to watch.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is a game all about, especially at the higher levels, when you're watching these tour events with some of the best teams in the world. The mistakes are often, who didn't quite get the angle right, who got a little bounce off the rock, who went a little deep. They're not going to be major mistakes, but it changes the tactics of the next shot so much, just depending on what the angles are and what's available.
So here's Matsumura. This stone's coming way across the center line. That looks like it did something unnatural.
Yeah, not sure what happened there. It did look
it
wasn't. Well, first of all, they were trying to guard that side, but it still moved way further than expected. Maybe that works out though. It might be enough that it takes away any sort of draw on that side of the ice to get in front of that blue rock. There may be some sort of play on the blue-yellow here.
Yeah, when I watched the feed replay, it did look like the rotation changed about 5 feet over the hog line, so picked up a little something.
Yeah.
So for Koana and Aoki, what do they got here?
I think they're playing to that blue rock on the top 8-foot. Double tap there. Try to move that yellow one up, grab a piece of the button, and get their deuce.
So, go Aoki with the final rock event number 4, looking for the double raise tap up. Koana's going to watch the line, or the straight draw, rather.
Yeah, it was a straight draw. Sorry.
And it does not quite get there. It'll be a single point. So halfway through, we're all tied up at 2. We'll be back from Vernon, BC right after this.
Handcrafted in Can Evolution.
Okay, we're back here at end number 5 for the Mixed Doubles Super Series presented by Curling Stadium Vernon. Dave Schmel and Ed Scimia. So Ed, halfway through, what are your impressions?
Wow, this has been a tight game. A lot of tight play in the forefoot. We've seen a lot of great freezes, a lot of great draw weight on both sides. Overall, I think we both have the impression that it's been Matsumura and Tanida who have maybe had a little bit of the better of the play, but Koana and Aoki really hanging in there, making enough shots to keep this a 2-2 game. And you don't often see 4 ends of trading singles in mixed doubles, but here you are.
All right, so it is Matsumura and Tanida with the hammer here on end number 5. They're throwing the blue stones. And the first stone is going to be delivered by Chiaki Matsumura. That first come around did not get all the way, but it's lined up pretty well. So let's see where they take this second one.
Yeah, not a bad place to put the come around either. The freeze to the back one is strong play, but if you're looking to steal, often this top button rock maybe gives you a little better chance because, again, with now the stationary hammer rock being so far back, not so far back, but back far enough, the freeze doesn't leave you covering the pin at all. It does more to shut down the end than help you score. And sure enough, with that blue rock coming up a little short, we're kind of looking at, if you play 4-player curling, a traditional steal opportunity, right? You've got a lot of rocks in the way on the center line, and we've got a non-hammer rock in the top of the button, and that back 4 rock for the hammer team is not helping. It is just another backer potentially for the non-hammer team looking to steal.
So here's Koana. Possibly trying to get around to the back one from the other side now. Careful on the angle that you leave. Not too bad.
No, I mean, that's there's definitely ways to get rid of both of those now if you start to open things up in a bit. Sorry, not open things up. You've taken away the ability to use that blue rock, which is great. At some point, Matsumura and Tanida may look to open things up, and a run now might get rid of both those rocks in the top 8, but a nice angle there, yeah. Make sure the blue rock isn't useful.
Looks like the broom has indicated a corner freeze to the shot stone. Tanida trying to bring his rock in. Now, it's taking that late curl just like we saw before. Lots of good finish here. It's not all the way down, but it looks like the angle is still preserved to get it. And I think that's recognized by Koana and Aoki and realize that stone's a threat.
Yeah, absolutely. You could definitely run that in relatively short run there. So imagine they're going to cover this or remove the rock, but I think they're playing to cover it.
Ed, I agree that the moving that stone, preset stone to the back of the button has really changed the game because initially when you could just draw and freeze and kill the end right away, at least from the club level, I'm like, wow, this is Felt a little boring. I won't lie.
It could be a lot more of the ends, and here comes this run in.
Oh, there they go. When they run, they clear off both blues and set themselves up nicely. Now, real trouble for Matsumura and Tanida.
Yeah, you could consider just running that center guard now and trying to blow everything up and at least preserving your chance to score. They may be using the rock that that Koana and Aoki just threw though also, because if you angle that in and manage to get that yellow off the top 4 foot there, you could leave yourself sitting 1, and now the guards maybe, at least in some scenarios, helping you a little bit. It actually looks like they're now reconsidering that, instead of drawing down here, trying to corner that rock again.
Yeah, because
on the top of the button.
Right, because if even if he made that shot, then it still looks like he just run the guard back and kill it again, or
depending on how aggressive you want to be. Yeah, either the run just kills your blue rock at the top of the house, or you wrap around everything and it's not easy to get to a rock that's back behind that mass of stones.
So
what you were saying was true. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So the draw from Tanida. No, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, what you were saying was true about the. Yeah, there were a lot of ends that felt really, really samey when you played with the rock just on the back of the button, on the back of the pin to start. Yeah, you'd freeze, and as one of our broadcast colleagues, Sean Joyce, was saying last night we were doing a game, you'd make the freeze without hammer, and suddenly the question was, how many are we going to steal? Because the end was basically over for the hammer team if you made that dead freeze right on the pin.
So that stone doesn't get all the way down keyed up. Is there access available here for Koana and Aoki? Can you? Looks like you can kill it without touching your own for sure. But do you leave your own rock in a bad spot?
That would be my concern, so I'm curious as to how they plan on taking care of this. Now, it may still be best to hit it, because if you were to throw a guard up, you actually might have some problems when if Matsumura and Tanida made the little angle run there on the yellows and removed both. Blue would be left sitting 2, not so easy to get rid of both those blue rocks, and could be heading towards a multiple.
So that's on the way. Trying to make that hit and possibly stay corner hooked. You don't want to give up your own here. Got to get past that first blue, though. You do. It's pretty good, but
did.
Now, I don't think it's going to come into contact. I definitely think that double's available.
Yeah, I think it's okay. That last rock took quite a bit of a hook late too. Great job holding it and not making contact with the blue that's still in the house first, which would have definitely made this play a lot easier. I think you're right. They are looking at a lot of different angles with potential drags, potential wicks off the yellow that was just thrown. If you were to run stuff into that pile at the top. Because yeah, that blue rock is going straight back if you ever make one of these runs, right? Like it's going to wick off that yellow on the side of the 8 foot and come right back into that rock on the button. Now, it looks like they're looking at coming off that rock in the top 12, perhaps.
But we're in that scenario again where blue is very, very lonely.
Yes, yeah. At least they have hammer. A little less scary when you have last rock, but yeah. And any play you make here to move your blue rock into a position where it's scoring is likely going to leave it without backing, which means yellow could have a shot back to remove it and make you draw or hit against a whole bunch.
So Tanida sells into the hack. On what looks to be a beautiful sunny day in Vernon. It's 8 degrees outside. Going up to 16.
Well, that's not so bad. I was thinking high of 8 today. That seems low for BC, but
Be a nice autumn day.
yeah.
Coming at it from the other side. You got to get over to make anything happen. Oh! Wow! You could have put a piece of paper on either edge and pulled it out, but somehow that stone made it through.
And that shot works almost if you hit any of either rock. If it's a touch wider, you're going to make it off the outside yellow.
We need a sponsor from some razor company because that could be our close shave of the game.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, hard. If you were doing that just to practice at the club, that's a tough shot to
I
make.
don't think he could ever do it. All right, so now you have yellow. Can you make that blue go out and really make it tough?
No, I don't think you can make that blue go away. I think no matter where you hit, unfortunately, that blue is heading right at your yellow on the top 4. So
We're just
not
looking at
sure
probably looking at a
yeah,
guard,
guard
here.
or sit. Another rock in there. You said they're looking at a guard. I don't know if you saw the call. I did not.
I thought it looked like a guard. They are
I think you're right.
They are line
yeah,
2.
Little tap there. Just
they
to
are going to
improve.
tap up, and that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, just to improve the angles. I don't think there was any risk of giving up 2. So, you improve the angles, you make it a lot more difficult for blue to score. And
They are looking at the angles on this triple here.
yes, so that is there. Even that's for 1.
Lined up pretty
might
good.
be
Yeah, it's lined up pretty good to get the top, to get the one on the top of the 4-foot. That goes no problem. The question is, do you stuff it on the back? I think you can make it over the top.
Oh, you absolutely can make it because there's enough distance between the rocks. Of course, you can play with the angles as you need to, but not an easy shot here to finish off the end.
So here's Tanida. Sorry, Matsumura, rather. Looking to make the triple takeout for a single. Got the one to still just over the top of the second. And it's a steal of 1. So we keep on trading ones here. It is 3-2 after 5 in Vernon.
Handcrafted in Canada. Join the revolution.
Gripper first.
Don't forget your brooms.
You got it. Yellow.
Come on up. Okay, well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Back here at end number 6 in Vernon, BC, and we were just talking about how tight that port was. I mean, holy Toledo, Ohio.
Yeah, incredible that went through and really changed the end. I mean, we're really fascinated by the fact the rock got through there, but also just a really unfortunate miss because you touch either rock and you're likely sending your blue rock back into scoring position. But at the very least,
Yeah, and Ed, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time for the power play.
it's the power play. Yeah, we for those unfamiliar with mixed doubles, once per game you can choose with the hammer to move the rocks off the center line, move them to the corner of the sheet. Instead of having a rock on the back of the 4-foot, with the hammer, your rock goes to the front of the tee line, bisecting the 8 and 12-foot circles. And we stick the non-hammer team with the corner guard. So basically, the hammer team gets everything it could possibly want out of an end to start. very hard to steal, much easier to get multiples, and very tough to defend in these situations, I would say, from experience. Particularly in a close game. You'll also see this used with the team at the lead as a defensive measure with the hammer, just to make sure there can't be a steal.
So with the offensive power play, what is the ideal strategy? I mean, I'm sure there's more than one. So tell me a couple different ways people open up when they have the power play.
Well, with the hammer, one option, if the non-hammer team lets you do this, which they did not so much in this position, in this end, is to at least wrap a second rock around the guard. Use the guard you have. After that, you'll likely see them split the house, try to drive play away from those rocks, be willing to trade hits, which sometimes is the best option for the team without hammer, just to not give up a big end. In this case, they did try to set up maybe more like a second guard on their blue one in the corner. That still leaves the option open of splitting the house.
Now, this is our first look at this. We're trying to get all the way around the outside. And they just nudged their rock into shot. That was...
Oh, what a great shot.
That was just cool.
That was really cool. Throw a lot of rotation, get out there, keep the rock straight. You don't see that too often. You will see teams without hammer, if you're talking about the strategy without hammer, sometimes look to, especially at the high level, to play a tick shot on that corner guard so they gain access to the hammer rock later in the end.
What makes that shot so tough is you hardly ever throw a rock out there.
Yeah. And that yellow rock ended up just deep enough, the shooter, that, I mean, technically, yeah, you probably could bang off it, hit that yellow rock that's frozen sideways to get it unfrozen, but I don't think you're ever pushing it all the way across the house. So it's pretty well locked on there.
That was really creative shot calling. I truly appreciate that.
Yeah. Now we're going to see the blue team here try to use that sort of guard. It's in the top 12, but really kind of a guard, and come around there, which they do reasonably effectively. Probably only about half buried, though. Which means that Koana and Aoki may just come right down to it, especially because it's behind the T-line.
The chase is on for sure there. I would note maybe for later that the yellow-blue goes onto that blue right now.
It does. That is true.
Interesting angles. We're going to have a fun end. So here's Tori throwing her second. She steps back to call the line, thought about sweeping, but call the line. More important now, you're around the guard.
A little big here.
All the way up to the face. A little bump.
Not bad, though. Very, and with that rock being, partially under, I don't think you're worried about separation there. Now, of course, we're still behind the T-line, so Matsumura and Tanida can come down to that rock themselves if they want to and try to reset and get something out of this end. Not really what you're looking for in the power play, because the play is coming back to the center, and the reason you take the power play with the hammer, of course, just like in 4-player curling, you'd love to move the play away from the center, but we've got play all stacked on one side of the ice and drifting back towards the center line, so probably not what they were looking for out of their power play.
This one has a long way to travel to get there, but now it does put on the blinker and start to make its way over. Look at that late finish.
Yeah, nice rock there. Now we're above the T line, which makes things a little more It will make blue a little happier with their rock placement. I don't think, although the angle is pretty decent, I don't think you could ever get that yellow rock out without losing your back blue as well. Not that relevant. They're likely all going to be playing above the tee line now.
So Koana and Aoki, they lined up these angles. So you think you're just going to maybe jostle that blue back a little bit, or?
Yeah, I think if that blue rock wasn't in the top 12, you might be able to just nose the blue and lose both blues and keep the yellows around. I don't know if that shot is here with the blue rock as it is, because just enough cover that they're going to have to come down on the weight as they are, and as you said, maybe a bit more of a jostle than a real big attempt to remove rocks here. This one's curling a lot. These rocks have a lot of action, though.
That was a
even
lot.
With that,
yeah, way down weight. We still got a tremendous amount of action. So beautiful stones here at the Vernon Curling Club.
Yeah, didn't know if they would get that much action with that little weight, but yeah, just enough to use those angles, as we said, to make those two blues go, not lose any of the yellow rocks. Yellow looks like they might be sitting 3 now.
I'd agree with that assessment. So now, if you're blue, what do you think your best option is, Ed?
Ooh, if there's a way to do it, you'd love to remove that yellow on the forefoot and maybe roll towards the corner where all the rocks are a little bit. That would give you a lot of room, a good chance for a deuce, right? Because you get your rock under cover, and you have all the room in the world to draw for your second on the final shot. Pretty much whatever yellow does with their last rock. We have seen a lot of movement, and if the weight comes down, that certainly might be possible.
So Matsumura and Tanida trying to make use of their power play here to get a multiple score in the all-important 6th end. Stones on the way. Trying to get really close to that guard. As close as you dare. Gonna just come up. Plenty of room. Gonna make the tap back, but leave yourself very exposed.
Yeah, just didn't get quite enough movement. Maybe a little bigger on the weight than they wanted, because she didn't actually need to remove that yellow rock, of course. Yeah, and now we have an open hit, after which that'll leave Matsumura with a shot for 1. And it's likely going to be a draw against 3.
So here's Aoki. The final rock for their team in the 6th. Just looking to take it out and make that a tough draw. Well, it's open up and can just hit and stick for the 1 here.
Yeah, just rolled into a spot where if you nose it, you're good. Don't have to throw a lot of weight here. Can't roll, although you have... The thing is, you can roll, because you can make sure the pro side miss is on the side where all the rocks are. And even if you hit this pretty thin, you're likely rolling into that pile for your 1.
So Chiaki Matsumura, final stone at number 6. Hit and stick for the single. Tanida keeping it clean, now applying some pressure to the brush. Looking pretty good. Right down the center line and right on it. And you get your 1. We're tied up at 3 after 6. We'll be back from BC in just a moment.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
We're back here in the 7th end, and it's back-to-back power play time. This time the power play will be for Koana and Aoki.
Yeah, definitely going to use your power play here in a tie game. Don't want to be in a situation where you think maybe we'll save it for the 8th end and you get forced in 7 and never get a chance to use it. This might be your best chance to get a multiple, and if you do, big advantage heading into the 8th end, for sure.
So they're electing to come around their own guard and leg one in there.
Yeah, you'll see teams do this. This is another way of defending. I mean, it's what we saw in the last end as well. If you can corner that yellow, you might pretty much take it out of the end, right? Like that yellow, unlikely to score already at this point.
Yep, the blue is shot rock now.
Yeah, blue is shot rock, and with that guard shaded maybe just a touch to the outside of the blue. Not going to get rid of that blue anytime soon.
So here's the first here from Aoki. They do rattle things around a little bit and roll the shot, so a little game of nip and tuck again here.
Yeah, just releasing that blue rock, so maybe later you have a play on it. It's okay to bounce there for now. It's not as bad now because you can't hit yet. Maybe a little more bounce than they wanted. They probably would have liked to have kept the blue rock behind the yellow there, but not a bad shot at all.
The stone here looks to over curl a touch from what they probably wanted.
Yeah, I think they were coming down to the yellow rock and instead left it, just a partially guarded. And the angle's not great to go directly after that yellow anymore on future rocks because we did see how much action there is. You might be able to get it out anyway, but there is the risk of jamming it dead onto your blue there on the side of the sheet now.
Now that looks like they indicated they want to tap up the yellow a little bit and lie 2. So the shot from Koana on the way.
That indicates to me they want to play for more than 2 because you could consider, just splitting the house and playing for your deuce. It is a little early, but it's mixed doubles. There's only 3 rocks left for each team after this.
So they are going to tick it into the corner and roll all the way open. They lie 2. It's just a sliver of that rock. Yeah, just a sliver of that rock available.
Yeah. That effectively splits the house. I don't think, especially not this early in the end, and without much desperation here, I don't think you're going to see Matsumura and Tanida look to, at any point, probably play a freeze on that yellow rock. Instead, they're going to look to, contain the scoring here.
So Tanida playing the open hit. Where's your ideal roll here?
I think they're actually drawing. Coming down to the corner of that yellow, yeah.
Well, there you go.
So the ideal roll is no roll because you're going to want to stay on this yellow rock. Stay on the inside of it, out count it. Try to take that yellow rock out of play. Beautifully done.
Ooh, beautifully corner frozen on. That's a nice shot right there. And they are dead welded. Another look at it.
Yeah, couldn't do it any better. If you walk down there and placed it, that's probably exactly where you're putting your blue rock.
So, how are we looking at our other games right now, Ed?
Well, taking a look over at the scoreboard, and I'll refresh one more time because we did that just a few minutes ago. Gill and Hewitt have a 5-3 lead after 6 over the Cotter team. Cotter and Cotter. Cotters do have the hammer there in the 7th end. In our all European matchups we have, Skaslin and Nettergotten are up 5-1. In fact, have won 5-1. Looks like that's a final over Perret and Rios out of Switzerland. Looks like they stopped playing there in the 6th end, according to our scoreboard. And in our final matchup, Abbas and Harsh now down 5-4, with Caldby and Lil having taken the lead, scoring a big 3 in the 4th end. But the German team there, Abbas and Harsh, does have hammer in the 7th, down 1.
Back here in our game, Tori Koana just threw a beautiful tap up and jostle. It did kick the blue towards the button, but it released it off of everything, and they lie 2, 3, 4, and possibly 5 in the house right now.
Yeah, a little bit of a scary situation if you're blue here. Happy to have that rock in the button, but it's very lonely, surrounded by a sea of yellows. I think they may be playing to hit that blue at an angle, remove the yellow off the back 4, and get a little roll behind that mess, so that now you're sitting 1-2 without a clear way to double your rocks out. Nope,
the stone's curling really hard, so they're going to try to maybe draw in another counter here.
Yeah.
All right, so it comes on in. They sit 1st and 3rd right now. Don't know if the double goes. It probably jams into the pile in the back.
Yeah, and I think they're looking instead to play directly onto that stone, right on the button. They were looking at perhaps rolling in the overhead view over to the right, somewhere where you don't leave a double back. Gives you a good chance of at least getting your deuce if you make that well.
So here's Tori Koana. Aoki looking to hold the line. You want to get the roll you want. Shimmy it just past. Changed up all the angles, and now we're back to one lonely blue stone against a host of yellows. A bevy, a gaggle.
Yellow's sitting at a minimum 2, 3, 4, probably 5, maybe 6. So that blue rock looks very lonely. Certainly, we're going to see Matsumura play a hit here. The question is, where do you roll to ensure you're not leaving a double for a whole bunch, or at least a double for 3? Even if you set up a double where your rock will jam on that wall on the left, that may not be good enough, because you'd be giving up 3 points if yellow does make their double. So really got to avoid.
Got to avoid tragedy here. So Matsumura trying to get her team out of dodge. We're straight, we're curling. We're straight, we're curling. We're going either way. But we got the one. We're going to tap one back. And, oh, our blue slid all the way back through.
Yeah, so now we do have that hit that hit and stick, can't quite nose it for 3, and they were even looking at the possibility, although that seems pretty ambitious because you might touch your yellow in the top 8 on the way by. Maybe not. Maybe you can make this. Now that I look at the overhead better, it's to make that long crosshouse double. We know there's a lot of action on these rocks, so you will get good movement.
I think discretion would be the better part of Valley here. 3 is pretty good going.
I think so.
Home.
I think that you're erring to that side, of course. You know, you're going to roll the rock to the left anyway, so maybe you get that if you're lucky.
So here's Aoki. Final stone, end number 7. Needs to hit and stay for 3. Hard on the brush now. Hard on the brush to hold the line. You hit it, you clear it, and you get 1, 2, 3 for sure. Let's check the 4th.
Either way, a huge end for...
And they settle on it. It is 3. And they're going to take a 6-3 lead heading home. We'll be back from Vernon right after this.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Back here at end number 8, final end of regulation. Big score 3 in the last end, Ed.
Yeah, that changes the game after we saw 6 consecutive singles and a 3-3 game. Koana Aoki make the big shot on the last rock, make sure that they don't jam, get their 3 points. And with Matsumura and Tanida having already used their power play, they're going to have to generate a 3 the old-fashioned way. And, when you make that dead freeze, Koana makes that freeze there. Ooh, it makes it real tough to find a place to get your 3 points.
So I guess my next question was going to be, how do you best defend it? And you just answered it. Lock it on.
Yeah, I think we talked a little bit earlier. You know, if you're really going to steal, if stealing is your priority, you might go to the top of the button instead. But you lock that on. Oh, you've taken that initial hammer rock pretty much out of the end. You've shrunk the scoring area tremendously. Now, at some point, and I think they were trying to do this there, and unfortunately didn't hit enough of that yellow rock. What you want to do is release your blue rock so that it stays in the house and could potentially count for you later and allows you to later remove the yellow. Unfortunately, didn't move their blue backer at all, which means Koana Aoki could potentially just lock another one on there and really make it hard to clear up the button and find a way to score 3 points.
Okay, so here's Koana trying to literally put a lid on this. That probably comes a little deeper than they wanted, but they still 2 in front of the blue, and that's the power position for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you know, maybe not ideally where they'd want to put it, but it is in a beautiful pocket there. It's not going anywhere, that yellow rock. If that yellow rock doesn't go anywhere, I don't think you can fit 3 blue rocks any closer to the pin than that one. So we're gonna have to move a little bit of move those rocks, lose our backers, which seems to be the idea of the shot here. Yeah.
That comes with enough weight, and that did release it a little bit. Now it did change the angles. It does look like that both yellows still go on to a blue, though.
Yeah, at least the yellow on the behind the blue there on the button moves far enough that it'll give you room to score, right? You can You can move it and maybe give yourself enough access to enough of the button to score an end here, get your 3 if everything goes your way. Still not ideal. I mean, we're playing in a very small area here with the hammer.
So you
that
just
last rocket is very good.
You just lock another one in here then?
Yeah, you might come right down to the blue rock and just.
It looks like that's what they're going to do.
This may actually even be a guard. This looks really late.
A guard's not the worst outcome here. You just need to
No,
deny
not at all.
access. Although, look at them. That's a great brush. It's skating it in really well. It's going to come right on down to the face, and that's a beautiful angle right there.
Yeah. I did not think it had enough weight to get there, but what do I know? And it was a little light, obviously, both players going up to sweep it to get it there, but ended up being a beautiful shot.
Now Tanida is going to try to probably do another rattle job here.
Yeah, you have to. You really have to move some of these around. You have to have ways to get rid of these yellow rocks. This one's got to get over a little.
It got over. Now the drag effect kind of helped them there. It's the yellow stone that was on the button kicked a little bit outward, so to speak.
Yeah, it certainly will help them if they get a miss, but I think Koana and Aoki are going to look to come off their yellow, do 2 things at once, right? You're taking away the ability for Matsumura and Tanida to come off that rock, and you might just be able to eliminate the blue while you're at it.
I think
like
you might
double off your own rock. Yeah.
You make a double off your own rock. You might even catch the back one on the way by. If you get really lucky. Then it kind of go around the world.
Yeah. Don't think you're too worried about getting rid of that back blue, though, because right now it's only helping you. It's only stopping your yellow rocks from going anywhere.
Here's Aoki. Try to play in off their own. Clip it. Push it. And that moves it out of the scoring zone, and they're sitting 3.
Yeah, very nice shot we see here on the replay. Might have wanted to move that blue a little further so it can't be used as an in-off. But with Matsumura and Tanida running out of rocks here, I'm not sure there's enough time to really effectively use it. They're going to try, though. The question pretty quickly becomes, how, with your last 2 rocks, how can you set up a 3 here? And
Well, you have to lie 1 before you can lie 2, and lie 2 before you can lie 3. So, see how they can do here to set up to do step number 1. All right, that changes things. They do lie 3rd shot right now, but they still they still have to deal with those other yellows.
Yeah, and all 3 yellows, I mean, are going to have to be moved. The one thing you did do is now there is no backing for any of the yellows. If there is something at the end of the shot, you know, you don't have to worry about jams so much. Your biggest problem is that yellow gets to even throw a 4th rock in there, and it already looks like there's no obvious way to get rid of all 3 yellows with 1 shot here.
Looks like you can double off 2 of the blues here if you like, or just draw another one in, and that should really make it virtually impossible.
Yeah, I think they probably won't play the hit just to make sure they don't, make it easier to remove what's left in the house of the yellows and maybe leave blue a chance to sit 3.
So here's
drawing
Aoki.
in.
Yeah, Aoki looking to finish things off here, and that's what makes this game so different. We're so used to seeing finishing shots in curling being hits to run somebody out of rocks, but that shot right there essentially ran him out of rocks.
Yeah, often in mixed doubles you're defending with draws, which is trickier and is why you get some higher scoring ends. But
do you see anything with your crystal ball here?
I do not. That
and
the
neither
problem
do
is
they.
even
It turns out neither do they.
Oh, they are. Yeah. Like, even if you run, which you can, normally you'd be able to make some sort of run. That yellow on the left side of the button is never going anywhere. It's going right into your mass of blue rocks.
And that'll be handshakes for them. Final score is 6-3 for Tori, Koana, and Go Aoki, and they'll advance to the semifinals, which will be coming up just a little bit later here on Curling Zone. Ed, what are your key takeaways from the game?
Well, I think even though it was a close game through 6 ends, great game. We did say all along it looked like Koana and Aoki just had a little bit better of the play, and then that came out in the power play. The big turning point was that they were able to get 3 with their power play in 7. That was the only multiple of the game, and that made the difference.
All right. Well, thanks, Ed. And so that wraps it up for now. For Ed, Scimia, Ryan Jacques, and Jerry Gertz at our studios in London, Ontario. Thanks for watching Curling Stadium. We'll be back with you in just a few minutes.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.